Diaries, a conversation where we share stories of women who have made the decision to step out of the fairy tale and live and create the life of their dreams. I'm Hadriana Leo, your money navigator and your undercover Cinderella. Welcome to this diary entry. Today, I wanted to share something with you, again, having to do with, some of the things we think about, some of the ways we approach money, some of the ways that we look at wealth and what wealth means to us, reasons to go after it. And I have to say that if we were to look at some of the fairy tales, the part that grates on me a lot is the part where a lot of times it's some damsel in distress waiting to get rescued by someone or waiting for someone to ride in and save the day. No, that's not every fairy tale, but it's the ones that we have been programmed, that have been programmed into our psyche. Here's the truth. When it comes to wealth, a lot of that pre-programming that's been done, it's hard to rewire. And it's a challenge for many of us as women listening to this diary entry tonight. It may be difficult for you to decide, you know what, I'm going to go after wealth. I'm going to go after the big bucks and I'm going to create legacy. It's hard sometimes for us to do that just for the sake of creating wealth, just for the sake of getting more money. It's harder for us to just go after it for that reason. So today, I want to share with you what I call the 3 I's of wealth for women. And those 3 I's of wealth have everything to do with finding a reason that resonates with you to go after wealth. Finding a reason that makes sense to you to go after wealth. Finding a reason outside of yourself, because let's face it, we're not talking about, everybody falling in under this broad umbrella of what we would refer to as women, but generally speaking, most of us or many of us, we're looking through our lens of our femininity at a world that is traditionally driven by very masculine energy. And the drive always is, it's more about competing with one another. It's about, who has the biggest return or who has the largest portfolio. Whereas these things may not resonate with us, or certainly not to the degree that we're going to put ourselves out there and go after it. So I want to share with you the 3 I's of wealth. Those 3 I's of wealth are things that wealth helps you to expand, to broaden, to have a larger reach, to have bigger and better options in. Those 3 I's are the places where we can use our wealth to do amazing things. And any one of them or all 3 of them together could certainly be the fuel that you're looking for to go after it, to get on the wealth building bandwagon and to stop being on the sidelines. Okay, enough talk. Here we go. The first I of the 3 I's of wealth is 1. Wealth helps us to expand our impact. Wealth helps us to expand our impact. And for us, this is a big deal. There is nothing worse than thinking that when you get up in the morning, another day of being a robot at the office, another day of just doing the thing you have to do just to get through it, another day of, not being seen, not being heard, not being understood, another day of the same old drudgery. No. When we have access to wealth, especially wealth that we have been intentional in creating, that wealth helps us to expand and blow the lid off our impact. You don't want to know what I'm talking about when I say impact? The ability to not having to go begging people to raise funds to build a school in your old neighborhood because education can help free the girls that are there. I'm talking about impact where we're not talking about doing something, we're actually doing that thing that's important to you. The impact of building a health center instead of talking about the need for a health center. Wealth helps you to have that kind of impact that goes beyond words. Amazing. Think of the impact you could have if you had access to the wealth that you needed to facilitate action. That's what I'm talking about when I talk about impact. Impact to create change, impact to get wheels turning, impact that is action and not just talk. So the first I of wealth that gives us reasons to go after it, impact. The second I of wealth that I want to share with you, that I has to do with our opportunities for inspiration. I'll tell you this, who you become on your path to wealth is not just for you to become that person you were meant to be. Yes, you are becoming. We are all becoming. We're all growing into that person and that personality and that mindset, that thought leader. We're all growing into. In fact, we are in the present that thing we're striving for, because in doing it, we are being it. Great, no problem. But there's an additional thing that wealth helps you to do. Wealth is able to help you spread that inspirational story to those who need to hear it. Imagine, just sit for a moment and think about the challenges that you've had to overcome thus far. Forget about whether you're wealthy or not, whether you have the big bucks or not, whether you have trust funds or not. That's not what I'm talking about. Wherever you happen to be in your wealth journey right now, just stop for a moment and think of some of the challenges that you've had to overcome. Those challenges, what you have been able to do, the ingenuity and creativity that you've been able to apply to your situation to move you from where you were to where you are now. All of these need to be heard. But how can they be heard if you have to clock in order to earn money? You know what wealth allows you to do? Wealth allows you to stop exchanging time for money and start putting your time into the things you need to do to inspire the next person, into sharing your story. It's not about whether or not you have to work the 40 hours a week. If you miss 5 hours, you can't make the rent, or you won't be able to pay for hockey for your children. Wealth allows us to move away from being shackled to that paycheck, and it frees us to live lives dedicated to being an inspiration. That doesn't mean you stop working. That's not what it means. It doesn't mean that you quit your job or anything like that, because you're probably as driven as I am, and you will continue to be a contributing member of society, in that you will generate revenue and create money, do things and stay busy and all that good stuff. I'm not saying you're not working. I'm saying you're giving yourself the option to choose to work, and working at the things that move you, and by so doing, move someone else. Someone needs to hear your story. Someone needs to be inspired by what you have lived through, and how you have faced the challenges that you faced. The second I of wealth is inspiration. Wealth helps you to expand the reach of your inspirational story. And for many of us, we don't have that opportunity because we're tied to a desk. Thinking in terms of wealth and legacy, it's time for your story to be heard. It's time for you to inspire someone, and that someone is waiting for you. The third, and probably the biggest, most I'd say the most impactful and inspirational component of the three I's of wealth is you, as in look yourself in the mirror and say I, because now you are talking to you. The third I of wealth is yourself, because everything about you has the opportunity to expand and grow when you have access to the wealth that you seek and desire. Your life experiences grow. Your sense of worth and worthiness grows because you have been an inspiration and you've been able to have an impact. Everything about who you are benefits, not because of the amount of money in your bank account. That's not what it is. But because wealth allows you to do the things that move you. Yes, you. I. You are the third I in the three I's of wealth, because who you are has the opportunity to expand and grow as a result of your quest to create wealth and to use it purposefully. How can we exit this world without being able to say that I have lived a life of impact? I have lived a life of inspiration. And don't get me wrong, one of the people that I look up to because of her impact and the way that she inspires is Oprah Winfrey. And I imagine myself sitting and speaking to her and saying to her, I don't want to talk to Oprah. I want to talk to Miss Winfrey, because Oprah is the persona, the person that we see on TV, the one who hosts the show. I want to talk to Miss Winfrey, the woman, the decision maker, the person who felt and met the challenge, the one that may not always show up on the screen, because that is the person that has inspired me. That is the person that has had the impact on me. That is the person who made the decision to use wealth to not just impact and inspire, but to build herself up so that she was able to now pour out of her cup to be an inspiration and to have an impact. I am so delighted with the opportunity to experience the three I's of wealth: impact, inspiration, and you. That's me, I. All three of those together are reasons why we can step outside of just, plain old have wealth for the sake of wealth. No, these are three reasons why we can go after creating wealth, embracing wealth, because the results of having that wealth are so much bigger than just who we happen to be in this moment in time. But here's the truth. It's easy to say. The challenges we face in making those three I's a reality, they are sometimes big giants standing in our way. I can tell you that on your path to creating wealth, you will need support, and you will need access to tools. You will need access to opportunities. You will need to be able to reach out and get what you need that happens to be outside of yourself. Nobody, and I dare you to contradict this, everyone who has achieved what they would consider their measure of wealth, everyone who has done so with help, with mentors, with teachers, with coaches, with family support, sometimes in spite of the lack of family support. We have all come to wealth with a support system, acknowledged or otherwise. And I want you to know that you don't have to try to create those three I's of wealth on your own. I'm here for that. If you can't find it anywhere else, reach out and let's have a conversation. Which of the I's is most resonant for you? Which of the I's is reaching out and poking at you? And it's like, yeah, you need to be an inspiration, or hey, you need to expand that feeling of self-worth in who you are, or hey, you know that you have to be a bigger impact. You feel it in your gut that there's more work for you to do, and here you are just spinning wheels because you can't get the cash and you can't get access and this, that, and the other. Which of the I's is speaking to you tonight? Drop it in the comments. Drop me a line in my DMs. Let's talk about making those 3 I's of wealth a reality for you, because we all have our role to play on this side of our existence. We need to do our part. So go after it. Don't think that creating wealth is selfish. Get after it. Get after it, because the world is waiting for what you can do with your wealth. And I certainly am excited to see how we get to impact the world, how we get to change the world for the better. I'm excited, and I hope you are too. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Remember, in the comments, in the DM, send me a message, send me an email even. Reach out to me on my website. Listen, let's talk about making wealth a reality for you. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of the evening. I will see you on the other side. Toodles.